Welcome to Spectrum News at 12, coming to you live from Oyo, the Akwa Ibom State Capital. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. Vice President Shettima assures Nigerians in diaspora of robust engagement. Federal government mandates thesis submission for NYSC mobilization. Plus, Moldova's pro-EU party wins vote marred in claims of Russian interference. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in just a moment. Good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us on the news at 12. We begin this afternoon from the national scene where Vice President Kashim Shettima has assured Nigerians living abroad of more robust engagement in the policies and programs of President Bola Tinubu's administration, pledging that their contributions will be central to the country's developmental drive. Speaking at a meeting with the Nigerian community in the United States on the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA in New York, Shettima urged citizens overseas to sustain their confidence in the nation, insisting that Nigeria is on the right track under the Renewed Hope agenda. According to a statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Kocha, Shettima pointed to Nigerians improving macroeconomic fundamentals as evidence of progress, citing foreign reserves nearing the $40 billion mark, increased revenues accruing to state governments, and unprecedented infrastructure investment nationwide. He also highlighted youth-focused initiatives such as the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, NEOFund, as proof of the administration's commitment to inclusive growth. Away from that, the federal government has approved a policy that makes a submission of students' thesis and final year projects into the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank a compulsory requirement for mobilization into the National Youth Service Corps. Reports say effective from October 6, no graduate, whether trained in Nigeria or abroad, will be mobilized for or exempted from the NYSC without proof of compliance. The new directive was contained in a circular issued by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, who conveyed President Bola Tinubu's approval. The circular stated that the NYSC mobilization criteria have been adjusted in accordance with the President's regulation, requiring proof of net policy compliance for all prospective corps members, regardless of where they were educated. In the meantime, the federal government has said that it is making efforts to resolve the feud between the Dangote refinery and the petroleum and natural gas. The Minister of Labor and Employment, Mohammed Dingyadi, in a statement issued by the ministry's Head of Information and Public Relations, Patience Onwabia, appealed to Pengassan to reconsider its proposed strike starting today over its dispute with Dangote refinery. Dingyadi disclosed that invitations have been extended to both the leadership of Pengassan and Dangote refinery management to attend an emergency meeting today for the reconciliation of the dispute. The minister urged the feuding parties to give peace a chance, assuring them that the federal government would resolve the dispute amicably to the satisfaction of all the parties involved and in the national interest. In a related development, the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has placed its members on strike notice over what it tagged as anti-worker policies implemented by the management of Dangote refinery. TUC, in the statement signed by its General Secretary Nuhu Electoral demanded the immediate and unconditional reinstatement of all sacked workers, a public apology from Dangote management with firm assurances against future victimization and independent investigation involving the Ministry of Labor and stakeholders into the refinery's labor practices. Recall that the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASEN, had instructed its members nationwide to withdraw their services following the alleged mass dismissal of over 800 Nigerian workers by Dangote Refinery. Talking electoral matters now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, has said that the high level of participation by Nigerians, especially the youths, in the ongoing continuous voter registration CVR shows that citizens still had confidence in the process. Reacting to recent claims suggesting that Nigerians had lost confidence in the country's electoral system, the Chief Press Secretary to Inec Chairman Rotimi Onyekomi told newsmen that the assertions were baseless and unsupported by facts. Onyekomi said that the CVR, which began on August 18 with online pre-registration, shows that citizens still had confidence in the process. Onyekomi added that within 1 week of the in-person registration starting on August 25, a total of 72,274 citizens had either completed their online pre-registration or registered in person. In another development, the Comptroller General of Customs (CGC) Bashir Adeniyi has said that the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) has developed a new one-stop platform aimed at fast-tracking clearance of goods. Adeniyi said the one-stop shop trade platform is aimed at simplifying manufacturers' interactions with customs and other regulatory agencies. According to him, the platform will drastically reduce bureaucracy, enabling businesses to process documentation, resolve bottlenecks, and clear goods faster. The NCS revealed this during an engagement with the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria (MAN) in Lagos, where both pledged to deepen collaboration to boost industrial growth, reduce operational costs, and strengthen Nigeria's global trade competitiveness. We move now to Africa, where Cameroon's presidential campaign has officially kicked off with initially 12 candidates in the running ahead of the election on 12th October. Reports say the vote could extend or end Paul Biya's 43 years in power. Among those who hope to defeat the long-serving president is his former ally, Bello Maigari. The ex-tourism minister launched his campaign with a rally in Douala. This comes as calls are being made from all sides for a coalition between him and the other strong contender in the presidential election. Still in Africa, Gabon is awaiting election results today that could prove crucial for the leadership of General Brice Clotaire Nguema. More than 900,000 Gabonese were called to the polls on Saturday in the country's first legislative and local elections since a 2023 military coup toppled the Bongo dynasty. Voters were asked to elect 145 parliament members as well as local councillors who will in turn indirectly elect senators, mayors, and president of regional assemblies. On the foreign scene, the pro-European party of Moldovan President Maia Sandu has claimed victory and a new majority in parliament in elections seen as critical for her country's future path to the EU. Sandu had warned of massive Russian interference after voting, saying the future of her country, flanked by Ukraine and Romania, was at stake. The leader of Sandu's Party of Action and Solidarity PS, Igor Grosu, said it had been an extraordinarily difficult battle and Russia had thrown everything it had at the election. PAS secured 50% of the vote, with 99.9% of the 1.6 million votes counted, far ahead of the pro-Russian patriotic electoral bloc under 25%. We move now to the foreign scene, where UK Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood is set to announce that migrants will have to prove they are contributing to society to earn the right to remain in the UK. In her Labour conference speech, Mahmood will outline a series of new conditions migrants have to meet to qualify for indefinite leave to remain. Under the proposals, illegal migrants will have to learn English to a high standard, have a clean criminal record, and volunteer in their community to be granted permanent settlement status. Still to come in the news. Les Angels blame poor officiating for defeat to Rivers United. Stay tuned for details of these and more in a jiffy. Welcome back. We appreciate you for sticking with us. Now we conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Inec has said that Nigeria's oil production rose to 1.8 million barrels per day from 1 million, adding that the goal is to reach 2.5 million barrels per day, as American companies are already showing strong interest in investing in Nigerian oil blocks. Speaking at the inaugural Africa Energy Investment Summit held in New York, Lokpobiri during a panel session underscored Africa's renewed confidence and the resurgence of investment in the continent's energy sector. Making a strong case for continued investment in fossil fuel in Africa, Lokpobiri noted that Africa must not be deceived into abandoning fossil fuels while the West continues to expand production. He added that Africa hydrocarbons will finance Africa transition, not charity, not aid. Talking health now, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, has given the federal government a 30-day deadline to meet a series of outstanding welfare and policy demands affecting its members. These demands include payment of salary arrears, promotion entitlements, and reinstatement of sacked doctors. The resolutions were contained in a communique signed yesterday by NAD President Mohammed Suleiman, Secretary General Shaibu Ibrahim, and Publicity and Social Secretary Abdul Majid Ibrahim at the close of the association's 45th Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference held in Katsina State. During the meeting, themed Mitigating Health Worker Migration through Extra Remuneration Incentives, a strategy for sustainable development. NAD members deliberated on critical challenges confronting Nigeria's health sector. The association highlighted the excessive and unsafe call duty hours imposed on resident doctors, the stalled review of the consolidated medical salary structure for over 16 years, and the persistent non-payment of corrected professional allowances, leading to prolonged salary shortfalls. NAD, however, resolved that effective October 1, 2025, its members should no longer engage in more than 24 consecutive hours of call duty, aligning with international best practices. Still in health, the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, PCN, has sealed 6,705 illegal pharmaceutical premises and arrested 23 people between January 2024 and August 2025 in its nation's measures to safeguard public health and strengthen the regulation of pharmacy practice. The council highlighted a wide range of offenses discovered during its enforcement exercises. These included the sale of drugs in the open drug market, premises operating without proper registration and valid licenses, premises operating illegally, poor documentation, stocking of ethical products operating without the supervision of a superintendent pharmacist, and violation of PCN regulations. The PCN noted that its enforcement operations are meant to combat illegal pharmaceutical premises, address professional misconduct, and ensure the integrity of the pharmaceutical supply chain. Now to sports, where FS Les Angels have blamed officiating for their defeat to Rivers United in the CAF Champions League first round second leg clash in Uyo. The Sumairai suffered a 1-0 loss to the Pride of Rivers at the Godswill Pabio Stadium yesterday. The Democratic Republic of Congo side exited the competition 1-0 on aggregate. FS Les Angels said the players fought with determination but were let down by controversial officiating. Rivers United will now battle with Mozambican side Black Bulls in the second round of the competition. Still talking sports, India beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in a tense final to retain the Asia Cup at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. It was the third meeting between the rivals at the tournament, and success for India earned them a 9th title. Both sides again refused to shake hands as they had in the two earlier fractious encounters. Reports say the two nations engaged in a brief military conflict in May, which Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi referenced when congratulating the players on social media. On our entertainment news, American rapper Cardi B has made history as the only female rapper to debut her first 2 studio albums at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Her sophomore album, Am I the Drama, debuted at the top spot with 200,000 equivalent album units in its first week, following the groundbreaking success of her debut project, Invasion of Privacy 2018, which also launched at #1. The accomplishment was confirmed by Billboard in an official post on social media. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 12. I am Ofonono Joseph. Good afternoon and Happy New Week.